then just tell us about the events of this week, how things have unfolded, how you found out that you are now in this position.
But basically all it was a phone call, probably late Sunday afternoon, to be honest. Got a phone call off the chairman, I got a phone call off the chief exec as well, Dave, and basically to ask me if I'd be interested. You know, they told me what had happened, and obviously they wanted me to step in if I wanted to do it. Initially I said, can you give me a little bit of time, because obviously I came in here to work with the young players, with the under-19s, and that's been going really well. I've really enjoyed it. Actually, the day before we played Newcastle away and beat them 4-1, so I was a little bit like, well, I'm not really sure if I want to do this, you know. But now after having a chat with my wife and probably my dad more than anyone, I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a crack. And I think the big thing for me is that it's such a good club. You know, I've been here 5 or 6 weeks now, and that's the one thing that stands out. I mean, every time we come out here to train every day, it's great. You know, the facilities are excellent, and the way that I've been treated by everyone since I've been here has been different class. So, and it's an opportunity. You know, we've got some good players, a lot of experienced players, a lot of young players. I've got my own ideas on the way I'd like to play, formations, all that side of things that I've developed myself over a number of years, to be fair, and I thought, I'm going to give it a crack.
You've not been here long, and you've been working with the youth team players,
yeah.
So how well do you feel you know the first team squad?
Well, I know quite a few of the players anyway over the years. I've played against Russ Penn quite a few times. I used to play with Big John at Hull. We used to travel in together for a while, so I know him quite well, worse luck. But there's quite a few of the lads in there, the older ones, and even some of the younger ones that I've seen play, wherever I've been coaching or playing wise, probably more so the coaching side of it, going out and watching games. So a lot of the players, to be honest, I know quite a lot about, which obviously helps when you come into this situation.
How have they responded to you then this week in training?
Yeah, they've been really good. They've been really receptive to the things that me and Stuart have been trying to work on with them. Probably be a little bit different in terms of the way that we work from probably what they've done before, but we have a style of play and something that we've spoken about, myself and Stuart, quite a lot, that we think will suit the players. But obviously I don't want to say too much because I don't want obviously the opposition to know on Saturday and Monday. So, but they've been really good. They've been bright. That was one of the things that I asked of them. I asked them to come in every day and express themselves, come in every day and enjoy it, and that's what they've done. And we've done a lot of hard work. We had a double session on Tuesday, which was a hard day, all football based, which I think is really important. And then we did quite a lot of work today in relation to what we're going to try and do on Saturday. So they've been great so far.
So as a base level, are you happy with where you're starting from at least?
Yeah. I played for a number of years. I've coached right the way from grassroots right the way up to being assistant manager. I've been caretaker 3 or 4 times. I played under some really good managers, and I've worked alongside some really good managers and coaches since I have been a coach. I was really lucky last year to work alongside Stuart McCall, and Simon Grayson came in, and I worked as first team coach when both of them were there for quite a long time. And things like that are fantastic experiences. You know, you've got to try and watch, learn, listen. Even though you've got your own ideas, it won't do you any harm. Obviously, being around experienced managers and players that have played at a really high level, I'd be stupid not to listen and learn. So, and in the long run, this is something that I've always wanted to do. And obviously, hopefully now it goes well, and then we see what happens on the end of that.
You mentioned Stuart Parnaby, who's initially your assistant. How well do you know him? Have you worked together before? Yeah, I've known Stuart 5 or 6 years, to be honest. Before we actually played together for a short time at Hartlepool, and then pretty much similar time, me and Stuart actually retired. And then he come in and did the strength and conditioning. I went to be player coach, and then first team coach, assistant manager, and all that. And in that process of time, Stuart was working his way up doing what he was doing, and then the last time I actually took over as caretaker up there, Stuart came and was my assistant then, so we know each other really well. We know the way both of us like to work, we know the type of environment we like to try and create, which we feel is really important, and the telltale sign will be what happens on Saturday and Monday. Obviously that's the most important thing. But with Stuart looking after strength and conditioning, you're not going to be criticising the players' fitness, I guess, this time around.
No, exactly, yeah. If the lads are dying on the feet after an hour, I'll be turning over my shoulder asking him questions, that is for certain. And then it's difficult because obviously we've got the game on Monday as well, so we've got to think about the whole squad, not just the one game. Even though obviously we'd love to win the game on Saturday, we've got to make sure we're conscious of the fact that we've got to try and get through 2 games. So, as we said to players, we need everybody. It's not just the starting 11, it's not just the subs. We've got a squad of 21, 22 players, so we've got to make sure we manage them all properly, make sure we get the right type of work into them. And as I say, we're really conscious of managing both games, but trying to make sure that we get 2 good results.
You say you're bound to have your own ideas. Every manager has got their own ideas. Yeah. Realistically, how long do you feel it will take to put your stamp on that side? In effect, how much patience are you asking fans to have with you?
Yeah, I think you've got to be patient. You know, players never go out to make mistakes. You know, there'll be things that happen in the game on Saturday. It's already happened in training for the last few days where we've had to stop it, start again. We've made little mistakes in our eyes that we feel are mistakes. So it doesn't happen overnight. No matter what level that's at, it doesn't happen overnight. But I think what's really important, what we've tried to do, is little tweaks, little but simple things that we feel that will work for the players. And at the end of the day, it's them that have to go out on the pitch and do what we're actually asking them to do. So you can't do it in 2 or 3 days. It takes time. But like I say, we've tried to add little things and maybe little tweaks formation-wise that we feel that they'll benefit from. And then hopefully, then, as I say, it gets us a good result.
So let's look at the game this Saturday. I know you're not going to give much away because you've already said about the changes you've made, but how different a York City do you feel we will see?
It'll be different. I'm sure it'll be different. We've got, as I say, I don't really want to give too much away in terms of personnel formations, but we'd like to think the little tweaks that we are going to make probably be a little bit different. We feel that we've got the type of players that we think that can play good football. That is for certain. That's the way that I've always been as a coach. I've always tried to get lads playing, enjoy having the ball. Pretty simple things. If we have the ball more than they do, there's a chance we're going to win the game. You know, that's one of the things that we've said to the players. One of the things we've also said is about there's only a couple of teams in this league that are full time. You know, so if we can keep the ball well, stay in the game for an hour at least, they'll start to tire. You know, and them type of periods in games become really important. So and that's one of the things we've said to players. Obviously, we've got to look after the ball well, make sure we're patient, pick the times when we go forward, and these are some of the little things that we've worked on. They've done it really well, to be fair, but the telltale sign is, and the most important bit is, what they or us collectively go and do on Saturday.
You've obviously had a lot on your plate. Have you had a chance to look much at Brackley?
Yeah, I've watched them a few times. We had our chief scout went to watch them as well. We're lucky where we can get video footage through Scout 7 where we can go and watch it on there as well. So since Sunday, well early Monday morning, since 4:30 Monday morning, I've been sat up at that time watching Brackley play. So I've not had much sleep for the last 3 or 4 days, thinking about obviously the players here, what we're going to get on Saturday, making sure everything's organised and everything's the way that I'd like it to be. I probably drove Stuart and Buster mad because I must have been ringing them 10-15 times a day, so they're probably sick of hearing me, but it's all, I think it's just all for the benefit of us collectively, and hopefully, as I say, we can please the fans by going and getting a really good performance and a good result.
Officially, it's been said that you're in charge over the weekend for these 2 games, but you sound to me like you're speaking longer term than that.
Well, you just got to wait. You just got to wait and see. I can't dictate that. Hopefully it does go well, and then we can have conversations at the end of that. As I say, it's all a collective thing. And at the end of the day, the players are paid to go on the pitch on a Saturday and try and get 3 points. So whether that's me or somebody else, that's a relative, really, you know. But one of the things I've tried to say to them is, look, we want to try and help you as much as possible. As much as I can give to you, I'll give to you. And if that sets us up well for what we're going to get on Saturday, and then on Monday, then brilliant. And then on the end of that, obviously, I'm sure there'll be another conversation after that.
Very much.
No problem.
Do you want the job, Sam? It's something you very much in the reckoning.
It's something I'd definitely be interested in. Yeah. As I said, I've been here 6 weeks, and the work that we've done with the young players, I have to say I've really enjoyed it. And the players have been great. The staff have been really good with me. I know how good a club it is. Yeah. I mean, I've played against York City for a number of years when they were in League One, League Two, even before that. When people like John McCarthy was here, people like that, people that I actually know, you know, so I know over the years they've played at a really good level. And there's not many better clubs at this level, especially that you could get the opportunity to actually take over as manager. at some stage, since I've been coaching 12, 15 years now, at some stage in the back of my mind when I was a player and as a coach, I always said to myself I'd like to do it one day. So obviously it'll get to a point, hopefully it goes well and I get asked that question, that I've got a decision to make, you know. But it's something I'm definitely interested in.
Yeah. You mentioned Big John before. How much of an asset is he at this level to have somebody with his goal scoring power? And
yeah, it's massive. You know, you look over the last few years how many goals he's scored. Yeah. I've known him a long time and we've always kept in touch. Whether we've spoke or looked on the internet and looked at York's games, wherever he's played, he's always scored goals. Yeah. You know, what the things that we try to do is find a system that suits him as well. Yeah. As I say, his record's really, really good. And if we can get him scoring goals, it's a massive plus for us.
Yeah, you've shared a dressing room with him as well. Obviously.
Yeah, we're
in that respect.
Well, obviously he's a bubbly character. He's a bit of a Jack the lad, even though he's knocking on a little bit now. But he's a great lad to have around. You know, we have to use that in the right way. And there's times in football where you do have dark days. You have bad results. You have bad days in training. People get injured. The more people you've got about the place like him, the better. You know, he's always comes in bright with a smile on his face, and we have to use that. You know, it's a big tool for us. But the most important thing is what he does on the pitch. You know, and he gets goals. He's good to play around for our young players because we've got quite a lot of them as well. So he's got a really big role to play.
Yeah, the fair list of managers that you've played under. Sam, who stands out in terms of who you played under? Was perhaps having the biggest influence on you as a manager now? Yeah,
when I was younger, two of the best ones I had when I was younger was Neil Warnock and Brian Orton. One of the best coaches I ever played under was Mick Wadsworth, who was absolutely outstanding. And then I was lucky to work under Phil Brown at Hull, who was a really good coach. You know, there's a big difference between coaching and actual management. Neil Warnock's style was completely different to the way that Phil Brown was. You know, he was just man management, getting the best out of people. And from a really young age, this was always something that I really wanted to do, so I'd always be taking notes, you know, listening to what they're saying. For at some stages I got older for situations like this, and then all that experience and knowledge and me being quite open in terms of listening and learning, hopefully that sets me in good stead for this.
Yeah, you got Martin Foyle at Paul Bell, who we know well here as
well.
What was Martin like? Did you learn much off
Yeah, he was great to me. He was really good to me. We got on really well. I actually spoke to him for about an hour and a half yesterday. Actually, he rang me. And we got on really, really well. And he just rang me yesterday to say good luck and a few little tips, a few little bits of advice. And it's good that I can tap into people like him because of obviously, like I say, his experience, and he's been around the game a long time as a player, coaching, and obviously what he's doing now at Motherwell. But I spoke to a lot of people over the last few days. Greg Abbott, who's at Bradford now, who was brilliant to me last year. Stuart McCall, people like that, Simon Grayson, they're all on the end of the phone, and I've spoke to them for little bits of advice, you know, what would you do in different situations, because we've not got all the answers, you know. I am going to make mistakes. This is one of the things that I said to players as well. I said, look, we're all going to make mistakes. I said, it's how we react when we do, you know. We need people to be positive. We need people who want to help each other when they do make mistakes. That's why I know Stuart's really good in terms of that. We bounce a lot of different ideas off each other. And it's all for just a collective goal, which is we go out on Saturday and hopefully get 3 points, and then the same again on Monday, you know. We all want to win. Me more than anybody, you know. But there's an actual process to that, and if we can get that right this week, hopefully we can go and do it.
And how many first team games have you been able to see this season, Sam?
I've seen all the home ones. I've watched quite a lot of them on the Scout 7, which is the video software thing that we use. I've watched quite a lot of the teams who actually have played in this league over the last few years. What I've been really conscious of is watching teams that have actually got promoted out of the league. And that's really important, you know, what style of play did they play, what formations. I think maybe without sounding disrespectful, probably over the last few years people get this stereotypical idea about teams in this league just look to play long balls.
Well, Harrogate, an example of that.
Well, some of the teams that have actually got out of the league have played some really good football, you know, and I think that we've got players that can do that. And the good thing is we've got a good balance and blend in terms of if we need to be quite direct, we can do that if we need to. And there'll be a time in games where we do. You know, we don't want to be a team that kills ourselves by always looking to play out from the back, and then we lose the ball and concede. So it's all about just trying to get that balance right. When it's on to play, can we play? If it's not on to play, then if we need to look to play a little bit longer, then that's what we have to do.
Yeah.